right?
I don't know. It makes no sense at all.
It makes no sense.
And you get so mad at me.
Oh my gosh.
I feel like you want to kill me.
I do want to kill you.
How would you do it?
I don't know. I poison you. I poison your cupcakes that you pretend not to eat every day and just put like enough in to just slowly weaken you.
I love it.
I would enjoy our last few months together.
Me too.
Because you'd be so weak and like sweet and I could take care of you but while killing you.
See, you know what I love about us? You can still surprise me. I figured for sure you'd knock me out with one fell swoop of poison, but you would extend it over a series of months.
Catherine, did this at last give you some compassion for the older generation?
Not really, no. It's probably not the film to do that. I mean, that's probably its main problem, isn't it? Is that Judd Apatow seems to think that one should, you know, I mean, basically he's the Paul Rudd character here, and the Paul Rudd character is wonderful, really. And Leslie Mann comes across as a bit of a sort of screeching harpy, but you know, you have to feel sorry for Paul Rudd because you know, he's got a bit of financial trouble, and his wife's slightly unhappy, and his older daughter's a bit of a pain, and that's sort of it. And
they might have to sell the big house that they've got.
That's the thing. That's the big sort of crisis thing, and it's like with Hitchcock. Because the big line in that is where Helen Mirren says, "We've already mortgaged our house," and it's, you know, so it's one of the
first world problems.
Yeah, it is, and you can make first world problems entertaining and even sympathetic. Something like Curb Your Enthusiasm is a very similar milieu, but I love that, and that's because it's cruel and it's nasty and it's funny, and actually I rewatched Funny People, Apatow's previous film to this, and I hadn't, no, actually I watched it for the first time because I hadn't seen it before, and I'd heard it was bad in many of the ways that this is meant to be bad, so very long, very self-indulgent, and actually at least it has a sort of strata of poison in it, enough to make it, you know, give the sort of cocktail a bit of kick. This really doesn't, and it just goes on forever.
It strikes me maybe a victim of his own success, that he's become this millionaire comic impresario over in Hollywood, and so what has he got to make films about? He can't make films about geeky misfit teens anymore, so he can only make a film about his real life, but his real life doesn't exactly inspire sympathy, does it?
Yeah, maybe. But then people like Sofia Coppola can make 2 or 3 movies about the same subject, i.e. privileged people living in Hollywood. And you might not like all of her films, but there is something in them for me that is dramatically interesting where there isn't in this. And I wonder if there was even an editor on this as well. It was a sprawl. It was a good 160 minutes of everything that popped into his head, whether it was funny or not.
And you have a lot of that at the moment. You have real kind of self-indulgence that's uncurbed by editors or friends or anyone. And, you know, somebody should have said to him at some level, cut it out, Judd. Like with Reacher, they should have said to Tom Cruise, it's getting a little embarrassing now. It's not, people aren't going to warm to this.
And it also feels like he's trying to do everything to get a laugh as well. Like at one point I thought, this is too highbrow for me, that's why I'm not getting it. Or I'm in the wrong age group, so I'm not getting it. But then you see Paul Rudd lying down, checking if he's got piles with a mirror between his legs. And it's like, oh no, you're going for easy gags as well, and not even those are working.
Is it all right to, in a sophisticated American comedy, to laugh at a Asian doctor's foreign accent? That seemed like a real false note.
Yeah. Yeah, and all the cameos, you know, he brings on all the roster of people that he's, you know, you've got Chris O'Dowd and Lena Dunham and all these people, Melissa McCarthy, and none of them were really very good. You know, you gotta, if you're gonna have the hilarious cameo, it's got to be hilarious, and it's got to be sort of cameo. I mean, the problem is if you have a cameo in such a long film as this, they come in loads. So it wasn't like, oh, it's them, oh great, because they were there all the time.
What I would say though is, if there's any point of identification for me in this film, it was Melissa McCarthy. when she's looking at them and they're arguing with the school principal, and she says, they look like people out of a bank advert, you know, of course you're going to go with them and not with me. And you think, yes, that's me.
My wife would never let me have a hot employee like that.
Yeah?
No. Every woman who works for us looks like they've been in some kind of horrible accident. Yeah. No.
Drawing after my slave. Are you comfortable with that around your husband? Oh, Pete wouldn't know what to do with that.
You think our wives are looking at us right now?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
They look like pedophiles.